Eccolo. So, hello everyone. I am here with a special host today, or guest, I should say. His name is Steve, and we've just been working together. He's been through one of my programs, Speak Italian with Confidence, and today he is so generous and kind to share his experience with us. And I'm very excited because I'm actually very proud of Steve and what he's been doing over the four weeks together. So I will just shut up now because I always tend to speak too much. And I just let Steve take the lead, and I'll ask Steve, first of all, tell us. First of all, you are from the UK, and at the moment you're living in Sweden.
That's right.
And you have been learning Italian. So what brought you to the Italian language, first of all?
Yeah, that's a good question. As you say, I've been living in Sweden for almost half my life now. The interest in Italian has been there for a long time. My mum and I used to sit and watch travel programs and cooking programs, and it was always the idea of traveling around Italy together, trying different foods, which attracted us. And then when I was younger and in London, I worked in an Italian restaurant and picked up a few words here and there. And I've always been interested in the food words, but over the years, I've hardly ever visited Italy. So the first time I was in Italy, apart from a short one-day trip during our honeymoon, but apart from that, the first time was I think the summer before the pandemic hit, and that travelled down by train through Europe from Sweden with my family, and we spent a week in Bologna, and it was fantastic. So prior to that trip, I started using the app that everybody uses to learn some phrases. And then it's carried on.
Duolingo, we love it.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So, but it's carried on from there, and that was 4 years ago. So, so for the last 4 years, I've been learning through apps and following some podcasts, and of course looking for interesting channels and interesting people who teach Italian, such as yourself.
Yeah. And that's how you found me.
That's how I found you. It's looking for interesting channels on Facebook where people are actually communicating in Italian, and where one has a constant little input of Italian inspiration here and there. So so it's great. So
yeah. And when you and what made you think like, oh, I'd really actually like to start to work with Ermi?
Yeah, well, I mean, as I say, I've been learning for 4 years, but that way of learning has been quite limited. So perhaps the first year was learning to recognize words and build up vocabulary, and to be able to read some Italian. And then after that first year, I started listening more to podcasts to try and get the ability to actually understand spoken Italian.
Mm-hmm.
But over these 4 years, although I've gotten to a stage where I can read moderately and I can hear perhaps not the fastest Italian, but some slow and careful Italian, I had no one to speak to. No opportunities or chances to practice spoken Italian more than perhaps saying the odd word here and there, or repeating things to myself, or ordering something in an Italian restaurant. But nobody ever starts a conversation with you when you're a beginner. And so I was looking for I was looking for sources of how can I find a foil, in Swedish we have a fantastic phrase which is bollplank. It's like a ball plank, something you can bounce ideas off.
Okay.
So looking for that sort of feedback mechanism, and being able to speak Italian with somebody and get feedback on that. Yeah. So, and then we had it was just over a month ago that you had a
Weekend
weekend.
Italiano.
Brilliant initiative. It was great
Yeah.
fun.
We're gonna do it.
So,
Yeah.
and just doing that one weekend really broke the ice. The technique of recording oneself, but having a reason to do it, because I mean, who wants to sit there, I mean, or just comes up on their own with, oh, okay, I'm going to start recording myself, but having the idea of a little pool of people and that we would record ourselves and have a reason to speak Italian was fantastic. Great initiative.
Yeah, I remember you taking part. You were very, very active.
That was fun.
Yes, it was fun, and then that's how you, in the end, you decided to, hey, I'm gonna do a whole 4 weeks. I'm just gonna speak Italian, and you enrolled with Speak Italian with Confidence. And so, what has changed since you've been doing this?
Well, the first thing that's changed is just having that reason and having broken the ice to speak Italian. And I think that the technique that you've taught, it gives a fantastic structure, but it's also, I mean, it is something that one can do for oneself as well. Yes. It's very nice having the feedback and having a mentor who can help and give that feedback. But what's changed is basically that I've gone from using at most a sentence or two of Italian at a time to realizing that I can sit down and with a little bit of preparation or with a little bit of being halting during it, but I can sit down and actually say things in Italian for 3 or 4 minutes at a time. And then also, I mean, we've had sessions together, coaching sessions where we've spoken Italian. I think yesterday we sat or the day before yesterday we sat, and the first 10 minutes we were speaking basically only Italian, more or less. So I mean, and that change is gigantic. It's huge. So
yeah, I was very proud to speak to you. Like, we spoke only in Italian.
Yeah, and I think the realization, what's changed, the realization that the vocabulary that I've built up over years of self-training, that it is actually usable in that way. I mean, and I've probably written more Italian than I've spoken. I've definitely written more Italian because I've written to people in chats and what have you. But I'm not. When you're learning Italian through podcasts or through apps, a lot of it's one way. It's coming into you. So having that focus to think on your feet, to put together phrases, and one of the things which you've taught is keep it simple. Use the words that you know. If you've been building your vocabulary for a while, you probably have more words there that you can use than you initially think of. So it's great to get to practice that and have the feedback from somebody helping point you in the right direction and give you tips on what's working and what one can improve on. So yeah, fantastic.
I'm very, very happy that it helped you, obviously. And I remember you saying, oh, you know, I didn't expect myself to be able to actually do a recording, to become able to do a recording of 3 or 4 minutes.
No,
I was just doing, and then at the end of the 4 weeks, which was like the day before yesterday, we met, and like you were saying, at the beginning of the coaching session, we were having a little conversation in Italian, and it's great to see the progress. And as I said, I'm very proud of you, of doing the work, because I know you're also very busy. Because it is a thing, right? You work, your work is very demanding, and still this is another thing, you know, to be proud of, because you managed to fit it into your schedule and to do it consistently despite you know, all the things you had to do.
Almost consistently, but I think that this is also one of the great things. I mean, the weekend event that we had, that was great because it was a weekend. I could just say, oh great, this weekend I'm going to focus on doing this. But then we had a chat after that about the program, and I was concerned,
Yes,
and my initial reaction was, okay, I know, or I'm fairly sure that later during the spring my work schedule will ease up and I'll be able to come in there. And having broken the ice, having got that bit of momentum initially really helped. And then when we talked it through, I thought, no, you know what, if I'm going to do this, and there's no reason why I can't actually do it now. And it's not been easy every week. It's not been easy every time, but it's worked out. It's been possible to find that half an hour here, half an hour there, where I can sit down and in a way treat myself to being able to sit down and say, okay, now I've got a really good reason for sitting down for half an hour and just focusing on something that I actually want to do. So it's been great, and this is the difference, I think, as well, between perhaps a more traditional evening class or a group course or something where you have a set time, you have to be there. That doesn't fit in with my schedule very well at all, and it's a difference having a coach who is there to help you, and then a structure with a deadline, but then within that deadline you can do the work when it suits you. So it's very flexible way of working. So it's a good format you've come up with there, Amy.
Yes, I'm glad it helped. Yay! So what else would you say? Anything else about your experience? Would you like to add anything else? Was it worth it? Well, I guess you already said it.
No, not as that. Yes, of course, it was fantastic. I think one realization that has come out of it is that again, a reflection on the way that I've been working earlier is that I've built up vocabulary, I've built up patterns, but I haven't necessarily learned the underlying grammar rules or learnt verb forms or what have you. So combining it with some moments of coaching where you've helped me understand a little bit what are some of the areas that I can be looking at more, that's also been extremely useful. So and then some of the exercises that we've done, it's given me a chance to, okay, I'll think about putting in some of the areas which we've gone through, where Emmy's given me feedback that here's an area I can work on more, and tried to put it in. So it's, yeah, again, been very constructive. Yeah.
So it has been both like getting the practice that you need in order to improve your speaking and, you know, get to speak more, and at the same time having the feedback that allowed you to improve what you already have. So both things together have worked for you, right?
Absolutely. I mean, my main goal was to break the barrier of speaking and have that practice,
which you did.
But then within that as well, there's been, here are some areas that I can improve on. Here are some areas which I need to think about a little bit more, and which is great. That's what we want. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Steve. And I just want to say, for the people that are watching now, because I know you're watching, we are recording this, but you're gonna watch it later. Come and speak to me if you have if you would like to improve your spoken Italian and you are learning it and you have a real desire of, you know, speak in Italian, not just learn it passively. Come and speak to me, leave me a comment wherever you see this video, and I'll get in touch with you, or you get in touch with me. And I shall see you in the next one. Ciao.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.